Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It is Saturday, May 17th, 2025, and on Saturdays we talk about sports and interject a little bit of humor, have a little bit of fun. So in today's vlog, I'll be making a major, life-changing announcement. And I want to briefly set the stage first. So I'm recording this vlog actually on my birthday, May 16th. So I'm 63 today. Yippee! But the current life expectancy for the average male in Canada is 80 years of age. So if I can just be average, then that means I've got about 17 more years to live. Now, of course, there are many factors, genetic and environmental, and in terms of your birth cohort, all of which affects your chances of living to an average lifespan or beyond. Currently, only about 23 out of every 100,000 males in Canada will live to be centenarians, that is to 100 years of age. So that's 0.023%, so far less than 1%. The number continues to rise, but slowly. Now, there are many contexts where being average actually works out quite well. So for me, I'm about 5'10", about 175 pounds, size 10.5 foot. And all of which means that I've never had a problem finding clothes or shoes that fit me. So it's good to be average. But in terms of age or life expectancy, why not aspire to be above average? And in fact, if you live to be 100, then you're not only above average, you're over 3 standard deviations above the mean. Okay? So you're truly exceptional if you can make it that far. Anyway, so that realization, in part, has led me to make today's monumental decision. So, what's the decision? Well, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat. Oh, no, sorry, wrong script. Basketball, however, is involved, sort of, right? Okay, so what's the big announcement? Well, I'm going to actually do this in 2 parts, so stick around. First, part 1, and this is big. I'm planning to simulate, to some degree, Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope, starting 2 years from today. That's right. So I'm planning to start running across Canada, 1 marathon at a time, starting on or 1 marathon per day, starting on my 65th birthday. So again, this is essentially what one of my heroes, Terry Fox, tried to do, of course, and that's the Terry Fox Foundation. I did a vlog. I talked about Terry Fox previously. But again, the plan is to, like Terry Fox, try to run 1 marathon per day, each day, until hopefully I can cross the entire country. So if I can do that, then I think, and I may be wrong about this, but I think I'd be the oldest person yet to complete the cross-Canada trek, and certainly by running a marathon a day. If there's somebody older who's already done that already, that's totally cool. I'm fine with that. But I've made the decision because I wanted to leverage that feat of running across Canada as a senior citizen, if you will, as a senior citizen, to help raise funds to start a foundation. And that foundation will be committed, at least in part, to helping fight the massive drug addiction problems that we have in Canada and the US for that matter. So about a dozen or more people who have actually completed these cross-Canada runs, usually to raise funds for charities, right? So some have done it to raise funds for the Terry Fox Foundation, for other cancer research, for heart disease, for diabetes, for PTSD. Somebody did it and donated a big fat check to the Canadian Mental Health Association, and for various other causes. Great stuff. But to my knowledge, no one has done a cross-Canada run to A, deal with the addiction crisis, and B, to start a permanent foundation rather than just a one-time donation. So I don't want to comment too much further about the foundation because we're only in the earliest stages at this point of developing the prospectus for the foundation. I've already been in conversation with a number of different people, and organizations and experts and so on. So I'll work out the details. We'll have this all figured out and worked out and have a full-blown proposal or prospectus for the foundation within the next year or so. Okay, and I'll be sharing that with the government, with the corporate sector, with nonprofit funders, and with the general public writ large, but especially, of course, with members of the Dr. J Vlog series, people like yourselves. And all of that will start in next year, in 2026. The actual run, again, won't start until May 16th, 2027. So plenty of time. Plus, I've got a lot of training to do. I actually started the training in earnest a couple of months ago. So as part of the vlog, I'll also be updating you folks, not only on the bigger plans regarding the cross-country run and the foundation, but on the training and preparation that's required to do something that most of us would be considered, or we would consider to be quite difficult, if not impossible, especially for a 65-year-old who has no cartilage in his right knee. So yeah, it's going to be quite a challenge. And my wife actually asked the logical question, how are you going to run across Canada with that bum knee without the cartilage? And my immediate response was, well, that's nothing. Think about Terry Fox. He tried to do the same thing, but with only one leg and with cancer ravaging his body. So in that sense, I think I'm pretty lucky. So, and then that leads to part 2 of the announcement. Yes, 2 years from today, if all goes well, I'll start the journey of running across Canada. 1 marathon per day, perhaps up to 50 kilometers per day, since I have 1.5 good legs and no cancer. But here's the second part. I'm also going to be doing that while dribbling a basketball the entire way. That's right. This is the one I've been training with so far, and it's already getting quite worn. So it's going to take a few basketballs. I'm not sure how many. Actually, I'll figure out how quickly they wear out. This is part of the whole logistics and the planning and the training that goes in. You have to figure out all of these little details, right? So yeah, I'm going to be actually dribbling a basketball while I run the entire way. All right? And so, as best I can determine, nobody has ever run across Canada while dribbling a basketball. And I couldn't actually find any evidence that anyone's done that in the United States either. So to the best of my knowledge, I think this will be the first time that's ever been done. So that's the added wrinkle. Crazy, eh? But I love basketball. I played my entire life. I coached on and off for about 35 years. And Terry Fox loved basketball too. And in fact, he continued to play basketball. He played wheelchair basketball after he had his leg amputated, again, because of the cancer. So in recent weeks then, people have seen me jogging and dribbling all around London, Ontario. I did a solid 2-hour nonstop running, / dribbling workout yesterday, comfortably covering about 9 miles, or about a third of a marathon. I was actually, I don't want to jinx myself, but I was actually surprised at kind of how easy that was. But there's still a ton of training to do. Why? Well, again, because as I just said, that's only a third of a marathon. So the idea is to run a full marathon while dribbling a basketball every day until they get across Canada. So again, that's the objective. And to run a marathon a day, even slowly, you have to build up not only the endurance, but the musculoskeletal strength, the core strength, and much more. And so on off days, I should say on off days, on my shorter training days, I'm also doing some weight training, squats and other things for the legs, core training, back muscle training, and also stuff for my arms as well. So it's a whole ordeal. There's a lot involved. And again, I'll get into some of the explanation of what goes into all the training and planning, etc., as we go along. And the thing is, too, that I've quickly learned in just a couple of months, I mean, I always knew this because I played basketball, but dribbling a basketball while running for a couple of hours, again, for me, that's not hard because I'm very comfortable dribbling a basketball with either hand, etc., etc. I've been doing that all my life. But what's really interesting is that while you're just dribbling along, even at a nice, casual, comfortable pace, it's remarkable how much the dribbling portion actually saps your energy, much more than if you were just, running on your own. I've run marathons, I've run long distances, I've trained for that sort of thing, but I've never trained while dribbling a basketball. So I've already noticed a very palpable, real difference in what's involved. Again, a number of different muscle groups and the torsion that's involved, etc. All of this leads to the use of different muscles, and then it tires out the body physiologically much more quickly. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting physiology that's involved in this whole process. So again, I'll explain more about this in future vlogs, but this is what I wanted to share with everyone today. So 2 years from today, starting on my 65th birthday, I am committed to running across Canada, 1 marathon per day while dribbling a basketball the entire time. So I've always been one who loves to dream the impossible dream, and then to try and go for it. There's no way, though, that I can accomplish this crazy feat alone. It's going to take a lot of support from my loved ones, from my team, and from you folks as well. I'm going to need your help. So I'm going to continue to produce the vlogs, share the knowledge on multiple topics, and then focus mainly on the impossible dream, as I'm calling it, on Saturdays. At this juncture, I'll merely ask that you subscribe to the channel and perhaps try to recruit some additional folks. Share the information with others in your circles to help start to build up our little community. And then down the road, there will be plenty of opportunities to get more involved to help support the cross-country run and the planned foundation. But for now, just send a little bit of positive energy and click like and subscribe. That goes a long way. So yeah, the plan then is to try to do something that has literally never been done before, as best I can determine. Dribbling a basketball across all of Canada, 1 marathon a day, until I've crossed the entire country in 2027, and as a senior citizen. But always for a bigger cause. So like most, if not all of you, I'd like to try to make a difference with the precious time and the resources that I've been given. And I do feel blessed. We all have our own paths to walk in this life, in this world, and I truly try to value and honor each person's individual journey. And just as I do my best to try to help others along the way with their respective journeys, I'll also need some help with mine. So, are you in? I hope so. Let's do this. So until next time, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance. And please be careful. If you're driving around or you're driving along the road or the highway and you see some old fart who's jogging, maybe walking at times, while dribbling a basketball. Okay, there might just actually be some method in that old fart's madness. We'll see. And I hope to see you soon. Take care.